And whoa, we are here with Breakthrough 2020. And I'm here with my friend Jerry Scribner. Jerry, nice to see you.
Great to see you, Jason.
Real quick, for those that are tuning in, wanted to get you up to speed. I'm very excited to have the conversation today with Jerry, but I also wanted to, again, remind everybody what this channel is about. So this isn't about sales pitches. It isn't about trying to, I'm not participating with any of the folks that I'm bringing on board here, but I really am trying to leverage what I've been very fortunate to have over my lifetime, which are great relationships, and get those relationships in the people in the hands of other people, right? So if I can bring people collectively to a valuable resource and connector and servant like Jerry or the other folks that I'm going to be bringing on my show, then I feel like we're doing a good thing. Now, again, this is a year where I think we've all been seeing disruption. When I first started the channel, we were in the midst of the storm. We're kind of coming on the other side of it, but now we're in a new storm, and I think everybody's really worn out. And hopefully, if you are getting worn out, you'll find something new. I believe breakthrough happens from being broken, and I'm hoping that this lands in the hands of somebody who needs it, that needs inspiration or drive, or just that maybe that extra nudge to decide to do something, to take a bet on themselves and go do something. So again, I'm going to continue to push out great relationships and people to you for access to it. Jerry, I know I'm a client of yours, meaning I use your services, but we're not in business together, right? So, but we are here solely with the desire to help serve you and get your message out. But we're going to talk a bit about your business today, but I really think the thing that makes you unique, and I remember the first time I met you, and the couple of times you followed up, I was in a contract with my services, but you've always been professional, but more importantly, you've always been sincere. You've always taken time to know about me, always taking time to follow up and have a relationship. So that to me is what stood out and why I wanted to invite you today. So that being said, I'm going to turn it over to you a little bit. I might ask a couple questions along the way, but please, would you mind sharing a little bit about you, your journey, what led you here today?
Absolutely. And again, thanks for having me on, Jason. I was born and raised in Midland, Michigan. I was there 25 years. I got to Texas in '84, as fast as I could get here. I consider myself a Texan, and my wife, Monica, and I have been married 33 years. Our oldest daughter is 29. She's a missionary in India. She is home right now. We got her out because of COVID. And my youngest is 26. She works for an architect in the Galleria area. For most of my life, I was a construction worker. Many of you, if you look up to your ceiling or to the walls, that stuff is called sheetrock, drywall, whatever you want to call it. That's what I did for many, many years. And enjoyed it. Never made a lot of money, but enjoyed it. I always liked, Jason, I'm the kind of guy, this is how silly I am. I love to mow the grass.
Oh, yeah.
I love to mow the grass because I like to see it when it's finished, the finished product, and I used to love hanging sheetrock because I could walk into a house and it was bare studs. And when I'm done, everything's covered up, so it was really fulfilling. And thankfully, I'd met a lot of really great people along the way. Back in 1985, when I first came down here, I came down in '84. In '85, I was looking for an apartment. I was single, and met a gentleman that was a pharmacist and a real estate investor. I ended up looking at one of his apartments. I didn't rent from him, but he and I became very close. A strong Christian man. He's 15 years older than me. I'm 61. He's now 76.
Oh, wow.
And he became like a mentor to me, like a much older brother that I never had before. And business-wise, in 2007, he shared a business idea with me that made sense, and we did it on a part-time basis for a couple years. And then I got laid off in September of '09. I was in residential construction. We had the housing and banking debacle. And at age 51, I got laid off. Thankfully, I had something on the side, a plan B on the side. And I haven't had a job now for September 1 of this year will be 11 years. I haven't technically had a job. So go to church in the Stafford area, and have been very, very blessed. You know, you and I have a lot of the same business mindset. And one of my mentors taught me that people do business with us because they know us, like us, and trust us.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the vibe I always got from you when I first met you. I remember we met at a Starbucks and had coffee together and just enjoyed visiting. And I could tell that we had that same thing in common, that whether I did business with somebody today or tomorrow or never doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about relationships. You know, the more relationships we have, I think the more blessed we are.
Yeah, I call it relational currency, right? And it's probably the one thing. If the stock market's up, the stock market's down, the real estate market sucks. The one thing that never goes south is relationships. If you nourish them and you treat them right, right? You just got to water them and treat them well. One of the things that really captured me about your experience was really your ability to, and this is really for me something that I thought it jumped out to me when we first met, and I want the rest of those that are listening to this to hear this. But you're never pushy. You're almost like you're just explaining and communicating and sharing, in a sense, stories. Is that something that you developed? Tell me where your kind of that skill came from? Like, because I've been in the situation where I felt, even from friends of mine, perhaps they were new in the business or whatever they're doing, but you know, their pitch, right, was just so abrasive and so, you know, that, you know, I had to even help them, like say, hey man, like just your approach is not working for me, right? So never felt that from you. Always thought you did a great job. Tell me a little bit about how you developed your approach to helping people do what you do.
Absolutely. You know, and being a construction worker for all those years, if it was a nail and I was a hammer, I understood it.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't have these skills. And simply by the grace of God, 13 years ago, I got introduced to a gentleman named Tom Schreider. And Tom became my business mentor. And now he's one of my absolute best friends in the world. And Tom taught me a couple of things. Number one, and it was interesting, you mentioned them both, that stories are what it's all about. We can't remember geography and history and dates and all that stuff when we were in school, but we remember stories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we remember stories from our family, you know, old crazy Uncle Buck and Aunt Lulu. We remember those stories that are passed down generation through generation. And people relate to stories. So I try to teach in stories. The other thing was to give people options. People love options. And, you know, if we go out to dinner and let's say your wife and I and Monica, we all go out to dinner. When we're done with dinner, the waitress comes by and hands us a dessert menu. And they say, what would you like dessert? Now, what the waiter did is they gave us an option.
Right.
Now, you being as healthy as you are, you'd probably pass it up. Me, I'd order 2 of them. You know, I'd make up for you not ordering one.
Oh, come on now.
But whether we ordered dessert or not, the waiter gave us an option. If we chose not to, it was not the waiter's decision. It was ours. The waiter doesn't run back in the kitchen and grab the manager by the collar and say, oh my gosh, you know, table number 7 didn't order dessert. No. It's also like if the waitress comes by and we're having coffee and they go, hey, would you like, you know, more coffee? That's an option.
Right.
We can say yes or no. So Tom Schreider, for anybody that wants to look him up, go to bigalbooks.com. He's just amazing teacher. And he taught me that all you do is give people options. They make their own decisions. I'll never forget when he taught me about options. He says, Jerry, when you talk to somebody about your business and you give them an option, he goes, did you decide where they live? No. Did you decide what kind of job they do? No. Did you decide what kind of car they drive or who they married? I said, well, of course not. He goes, and you can't decide when it comes to business. All you can do is offer an option. They can take the option today, tomorrow, or never. No matter what their decision is, the relationship's the most important part.
I love
And
it.
I can't tell you how years have gone by that I talked to somebody about my business, and they, at that moment, decided not to do business with me. That's their decision, not mine. And years later, Jason, they reach out to me and end up doing business with me because I treated them with respect. I treated them the way I would want to be treated. And, you know, it makes me feel good that you said I wasn't pushy. I don't like pushy salespeople, you know, so, and I would tell you in the beginning, 13 years ago, when I got started in this business, I was probably, because I didn't understand it, being a construction worker, I thought it was selling and all that kind of stuff. And I was probably pushy. And then Tom started mentoring me, and it just changed all my thoughts on how I serve others and just give folks options and tell them stories, and it's their decision.
I love that. And that's how it felt. And I say that to give people encouragement. I know one of the biggest things that holds people back from either your business or even being in business for themselves is this fear of sales or coming across salesy or feeling like a salesperson. But, you know, my challenge for everybody is always the same. One, if whatever you're going to do, you better be passionate about it, you know, because if you don't believe in what you're doing, if you don't commit to what you're doing, you will come across as a salesperson because you're trying to sell stuff. That's all. I mean, you know, you're trying to sell, you know, if you sell widgets, but they're just a widget, but you can make a lot of money selling widgets. Eventually people will catch on to the fact that you just care about selling widgets to make a ton of money. Now, if you're passionate about health, or if you're passionate about helping people break through, or if you're passionate about wealth, or if you're passionate about making something simple and easy that somebody can get out of their career because they're stuck, I think that's really what drives you, is because your own personal story, right? Your ability to get out of an environment where you're stuck. All of those things are really amazing. But to your point, if you can just educate and simply tell them what you're doing and give them an option, it doesn't have to be hard. Sales doesn't have to be hard, right? It's a relational thing.
It's just another option. I love the word option.
I love it. So, so tell me this, with your business, I know, the unique value proposition that your business holds, right, is it's everyday, day in and day out stuff, things that we're already going to use. Can you tell me a little bit about what you guys do?
Sure. What I do is pretty boring. Everybody pays an energy bill every month. Everybody pays a cell phone bill every month. And I don't think you know this yet, but about 3 weeks ago, we just partnered with Brinks Home Security.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I literally last Tuesday I had Brinks Home Security installed in my home. So what I do is very simple. I just give people the option to lower their electric bill, their natural gas bill, their cell phone bill, and now their home security bill, so they have more money in the bank, because we believe that they can do better things with the money than overpay. So that's what we do.
I love it. And so I know a lot of times people have concerns, right? Because they wonder about the validity or the you know, is this a real deal or whatever. You know, what are some of the things that you do in your business to help people understand the value proposition? So how does it help them? B, what are the things that you can stand behind to help support your business so that people can feel comfortable making a decision if they were to either A, switch to your services, or B, decide to start pursuing this as a business opportunity for themselves?
You bet. The first thing I do is I do a free cost analysis. People can send me their energy bill. They can send me their cell phone bill. Same thing with their home security. And we do a free analysis. And you know what? I don't save everybody money. I'm not going to tell you I save everybody money. I don't. That'd be impossible, you know, because, you know, today I was looking at gasoline prices. I don't know, I saw a couple places on the road, they were $1.69, then I saw $1.63. And I thought, well, the guy that was at $1.69 probably thinks he's the cheapest, and he's not. So now, again, most of the time we can lower people's bills so they have more money to do better things with. So I do that free cost analysis. And then if somebody, the other thing we do is I give people the option to create more income on a side hustle basis. The number one side hustle in America today, ironically, is Uber. But for the last 90 days, Uber drivers have been out of business.
Right.
So in my business, every month when literally thousands of families pay that energy bill, that cell phone bill, and now their home security bill, we get a recurring income. So if that's something that somebody wants to take a look at as a side hustle, they can reach out to me, via Facebook, or I can drop a phone number, whatever, and
right.
We can go have a cup of coffee and explore that option.
Absolutely. Well, your name's attached to it, and I would tell them to connect with you on Facebook, because you got a lot of great stuff that you put up, and B, reach out to you directly through there. I know that's a really good mode of communication for you. That's how we got connected. So great insight into that. So as we wrap up the discussion, again, if there's anything that you could say to somebody that's maybe on the fence, not in your business, but maybe they're just stuck, right? I know that your story, you were stuck at a moment in your life, and then you just kind of had to do something about it. And that's usually what leads us there. If you could give any final parting words of, inspiration and encouragement, what would you say for somebody who's listening to this that needs that extra nudge?
I'm going to give you some of the greatest business advice I've ever heard. Pray. I mean, I know Jason's heart, my heart. I pray. I pray about my business. I pray for my customers. I pray for my business associates. I'm not ashamed to say that I pray.
Awesome.
I've had my back up against the wall so many times. And I also live by this. And this is perfect for what we're going through right now. Mm-hmm. And it's a couple of very common words. We've all heard it, and I live by this. This too shall pass. In the grand scheme of things, when it's all said and done, and we're coming back to this again, it's about the relationships we create. We can have all the awards, we can make all the money, we can have all the recognition and all that stuff. But in the end, I'm not going to be sitting around thinking about all that. I'm going to be sitting around thinking about the relationships, the friends, the people that I love and care about. So pray and always understand this too shall pass.
I love it. One of my favorite scrolls in Og Mandino's book, The Greatest Salesman in the World, which is really nothing about sales. It's about mindset. But in that scroll, they talk about becoming a master of your emotions. And inside of a master of your emotions, you have to remember that this too shall pass. So sometimes we're too high on ourselves. Sometimes we're too low. Sometimes we're in the trenches. Sometimes we're on the mountaintop. And his goal was to remind us is that wherever you're at, there's a high chance it's going to pass. And you're going to be, back to neutral or up or down. And I love that. That's some of the best wisdom. If anybody could take that and understand that, you just got to take that step forward. And I think you just gave them some phenomenal wisdom. So again, to our audience and those that are tuning in, I'm Jason Lee. I'm a perpetual entrepreneur. I'm a connector. I'm a server. I love people. Jerry Scribner, I came to him through Facebook. But again, from day one, once I spent time with him, I realized this guy has a genuine, sincere heart to help people. I would encourage, as you're picking and going through things and trying to figure out what's next, open your mind to all the different options that are out there. Find something that you think you can get confident about, and then take massive action. The most important thing you have to do in life is you got to step out there and run after it. Every single person I know, including Jerry and the folks that I'm going to bring on this show, the thing that separates them between the person who has a job, checks in, checks out, sometimes goes home and has nothing left because they feel like they got the life sucked out of them every day, versus the person who's living their dream, is they don't feel like they're working. I was with two really successful individuals today, one over lunch and one here in my office. And in those conversations, we always talk about they're both entrepreneurs, both business owners. But the one thing that jumped out that we always come back to is, I don't plan to retire. Why would I? Right? I'm the only retirement dude you'll ever meet that says I'm not retiring. Because why? Like, I'm going to sit around and talk to people all day. I'm going to hang out and get to meet more Jerrys. And my business comes from the people that I know and I spend time with. And so, same thing as you. Like, when do you ever walk away from selling electricity? Like, you just won't do it. It doesn't make any sense, because what are you doing in the world? You're going to your church, you're going to play music, you're going to spend time with people, you're traveling, you're on a cruise ship. I think you were setting up people on electricity. When I follow on you on your cruise ship, you're picking off clients off the cruise ship. I mean, how cool is that? I meet clients when I'm out shooting guns, when I'm out hanging out with friends, when I'm at church or whatever, right? So what a cool way to do life. But you can't do it sitting behind a desk, staring at a computer all day, somebody barking down your throat. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, that just won't ever happen. So again, I'm encouraging you, tap into my network, tap into people that I know, break through this year. 2020 doesn't have to be all bad. It can be great for you if you step out there and choose to do something with yourself. So Jerry, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
I really,
Jason.
really appreciate you. You guys reach out to Jerry via Facebook, Jerry, Scribner, Scribner. And thank you to have you today. And look forward to seeing you guys on my next episode.